Hey guys, sorry about not uploading for 4 weeks. Well, as what YouTube says anyway. Last one I uploaded was episode 2. This one's gonna be episode 3, and it's gonna be a long video where it's just gonna be really the story parts only. It's not gonna consist of any fights, unless the fights are integral to the story. And it's just going to be one long video. It's gonna go through all the chapters in the game, because I lost interest in recording and editing and uploading onto YouTube, because I did record videos. I did record non-stop, like about a week. I recorded for about a week and edited for about a week or so. From episode 1 of Voice of Cards that the Isle Dragon Roars, all the way up to episode 2 of Voice of Cards the Forsaken Maiden. So I burnt myself out. I didn't pace myself. So yeah, that's really it. As to why there's no uploads from episode 2 onwards. Anyway, that's what this video episode is. It's going to be episode 3, and it's going to be the complete rest of the story of the game. Yeah, I hope you forgive me not recording or anything, not uploading, but I'm sorry for that. I think I'm just going to focus mostly on, I don't know what I'm going to focus on actually. Yeah, really that's it. I honestly don't know. I've got to find a thing that makes me tick for YouTube or Twitch. Oh, I farted. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you in the video. Well, not really see you, but I hope you enjoy this video from going onwards. And I'll see you in the next video, I guess, maybe, or on Twitch. By the way, all my social media is down below in the description. TikTok, YouTube, and you're on my YouTube and Twitch. Yeah, you can find me at Renny5 and all those, including Twitter. But I don't really use Twitter, so yeah. Or if you want to do it anyway. Again, see you later on in the video. Goodbye. Oh yeah, by the way, I won't be talking in the episode, so you'll just be watching the gameplay with the character voices and shit. Anyway, see you in the next video. Bye bye.
Very well then. Prepare to go ashore. Bright rays of sunlight beam down onto the warm South Isle. Something about the place reminds you of the refreshing cool of the ocean. After weighing anchor and docking your ship at the pier, you go ashore. Utterly exhausted from hours at the helm, you stretch. Once you have your heading, you and the others make for the village of Coveton in the south. Okay, now let's go. This must be a stela of the Isle's guardian spirit. So hot, you grumble, as you use your shirt to fan yourself. Wondering how Laddie is holding up, you turn and see her squeezing a blue ball of fluff tightly. She begins to rub her cheek against it. From the elated look in her eyes, you can only guess how cool it, but the sight sends shivers down your spine. Laddie, that's a monster, you shout, readying your weapon. The village floats in the center of a cove. The gentle lapping of waves fills the air. Coveton seems like a peaceful place, far removed from conflict. As you enter the village, you're greeted by an unusual sight. A paper doll flitters about like a bird above a man's hand. The man sees your curious gazes and explains that he animates it with a magic charm. He claims that all the villagers use such spells to enrich their lives. At your straightforward question, the man appears to be at a loss for words. Now, where could she be? He murmurs. Though the maiden isn't here now, you know for certain that one lives in the village. You thank the man, then resume your search for the maiden. The village gets so lively when the maiden is here, the man mutters, his brow furrowed with worry. The old woman stares intently into a crystal ball. She tells you she first used magic when she divined who she would marry, nigh on 50 years ago. You can't help but admire her dedication to the craft. The woman sighs. That maiden's gone gallivanting again today. Despite being tasked with protecting the village, it seems she has quite the infamous reputation. The man tells you the village may be renowned for its magic charms, but the tasty fish caught here aren't half bad either. Face contorted in concentration, the young boy deftly folds a piece of paper into the shape of a bird. You ask him about the maiden. I saw her at the maiden shrine, he says, as he tosses the paper bird into the air. Wonder of wonders, the paper bird flaps its wings and flies about, showing you where the maiden's shrine is. At the heart of the shrine, you see a young woman and man discussing something in earnest. The woman's name is Fila. She is, without a doubt, the maiden shouldering the isle's fate. The man's name is Hyde. He is the maiden's wise attendant. Excuse me. I need to speak with the maiden, you say, interjecting yourself into their conversation. Fila whirls to you and asks, which do you think is cuter? Though you're baffled by the sudden and unrelated question, she doesn't miss a beat and shows you a seashell in each of her hands. Caught in the moment, you mumble an unexpected answer beneath your breath. You quickly realize your mistake and look around when... Oh my, Fila remarks bashfully. Hyde simply gives a huh in response. Laddie looks off into the distance, her lips pursed as if whistling, though no sound comes out. Lack, annoyed for some reason, seems on the verge of rebuking you. Apparently, the maiden and her attendant had wagered on which shell was cuter. You had heard about the Azure Maiden from the villagers, but now you see for yourself that she's quite the free-spirited woman. You explain to them why you've come and ask if Fila will lend you her maiden's relic. Despite knowing the circumstances, Hyde tells you that things just aren't that simple. You take a deep breath and prepare to persuade them when... I'll let you borrow it if you help me find the pirate's treasure, Fila says. She explains that there are rumors of pirate treasure hidden within the crystal cave southeast of the village. Pirates, you murmur. You think about it for a moment, but with little other choice, you agree to help. You never change, sighs Hyde. But Fila pays him no mind as she prepares to embark on the adventure. All right, things have taken a very lively turn, haven't they? The Crystal Cave teems with the stones that give it its name. They say the intermittent echo of water droplets is the sound of more crystals forming. Your party and Fila have become fast friends on the road to the cave. Though Laddie seems somewhat nervous to finally have a female friend her age, she looks happy. The loose-lipped Fila tells you all sorts of details about her life, including the fact that she and Hyde seems on edge about her blasé divulgences. You give him a pat on the shoulder, quietly sympathizing with him. Just as you're about to open the chest, Fila interjects. I didn't tell you, but they say the treasure is... Laddie's face goes pale, and she squeezes Lack in her arms. The poor thing looks like it's in pain. I'm just kidding, Fila says cheerfully. But then, who goes there? A voice echoes through the cavern. My treasure. Mine. You sense a dangerous aura in the shadow of the chest, and immediately prepare for battle. Fight him off. Fortune favors the bold. Magnificent. After the battle, you finally reach what looks to be pirate treasure. Hundreds of colorful seashells filling it to the brim. The room falls quiet as everyone stares at the chest with abject dejection, realizing the stories were no more than rumor. After a long moment of sulking, you feel Laddie tug on your sleeve. She points to the rocky wall behind the chest. Upon closer inspection, you realize that there's a crevice just wide enough for a person to squeeze through. A droplet of water falls. Once the ripples upon the surface still, it feels as though time stops. All falls quiet. A beautiful underground lake, its waters glimmering like crystal, stretches out before you in the cave's depths. Your collective breaths are taken away as you gaze upon the dazzling sight. The lake's light reflects in Fila's eyes, and she gently takes Hyde's hand in hers. "I'm so happy we can see this together," she whispers. Though you had come to the cave in search of treasure, you found something far more precious. You returned to Coveton, basking in the afterglow of such a marvelous discovery. You arrive back at Coveton safe and sound. "Ta-da!" Fila says suddenly, pulling a crystal out of her pocket. Apparently, she took it from the cave so that Hyde could make them matching couples charms. With a sigh, her attendant agrees and says he will need to borrow the proper tools from the accessory shop. An air of gloom hangs over one corner of the village. It would seem someone has died. Asking a nearby fellow what happened, he explains a woman was attacked and killed by monsters outside the village. Talk is, the woman was wearing perfume from a foreign land that drew the monsters to her. They only discovered it after the fact, but that perfume was actually some sort of juju expressly for attracting monsters. You recall the woman to whom you delivered the parcel you picked up. "I should have better warned her," you think regrettably. Laddie gently places a hand to your back. You say a prayer for the woman's repose and quietly take your leave. Hyde asks you to wait outside while he enters the shop. Fila strikes up a conversation with Laddie while awaiting the other's return. The endless stream of words makes you wonder when the maiden has time to breathe. All Fila seems to talk about is Hyde. Nevertheless, she seems to have found an eager listener in Laddie, who nods with an elated smile. Hyde returns, completed couples charms in hand. The crystal charms look as impressive as any you would find in a shop. But Hyde's expression is grim. Apparently, he isn't as impressed by his handiwork as the rest of you. Fila takes one of the charms with a forlorn smile. I'll wear it to the maiden's ritual, she says quietly. Hearing the carefree woman speak of the goal of your journey, you can't help but ask for more information. Fila explains that she'll be conducting the maiden's ritual soon. You wonder if it's all right for them to be gallivanting around like this, considering how important the ritual is to protecting the island. As promised, I'll let you borrow the relic, Fila says, changing the subject. But it's far too important for me to just hand it over to you. So, we're coming with, she smiles. Though it's obvious she's just looking to have some fun, you have no choice but to accept the new term. With the maiden's relic finally secured, you and your unexpected new allies make for the spire. Fila exclaims in excitement as she lays her eyes upon your vessel. You grin, knowing full well that it is, and prepare for departure. You arrive back on Omega Isle. It's just as you left it. Quiet and still. How gloomy, Fila remarks. But her softly spoken words are swept away by the sea breeze. You stand before the maiden's altar again and ask Lack what you need to do here. Lack explains that Laddie couldn't become a maiden because of a problem in her heart. How would you even begin to solve a problem in someone's heart, you wonder, scratching your head in thought? Just as Lack begins to cast a mysterious spell. As if responding to the spell, the altar begins to glow. Now, go into the light, Lack commands. You do as you're told, having no choice but to obey the self-proclaimed spirit. When you come to, you realize that you must have fainted after being swallowed by the light. You gradually get your bearings, and your field of vision clears. You're in the spirit spire, or at least you're supposed to be. Something about it strikes you as strange. What happened, you ask Lack. Go outside and you'll see, it replies. Once outside, you find yourselves in the heart's domain, the birthplace of human emotions. But is it light or darkness at its core? You stand in awe of the world before you. It's entirely black, as if someone took a brush and filled it from corner to corner with dark paint. This is Laddie's heart's domain, Lack says. Lack explains that it's a dream world created by her feelings. You can't believe that this is what's inside Laddie. Sweet, kind Laddie, who wears her heart on her sleeve. Laddie's gaze falls to the floor, perhaps in shock at seeing what's inside of her. Lack points south of the spire. Whatever is eating away at her heart is in that village, it says. Since Lack seems to know the lay of the land, you decide that following its advice is for the best. Oh, this place is seriously weird, huh? A stela carved in the spirit's image. What's it doing here? A shadow suddenly appears. It gazes at you with eerie yellow eyes and is cloaked in a hostile aura. You have no choice but to fight. And fight. Excellent. Magnificent. magnificent. Two fight as one. Fortune favors the bold. Excellent. The shadow vanishes. But you can't shake the feeling that those final words were spoken in a girl's voice. Anxietown is shaped entirely by Laddie's woes. As such, even the most beautiful blossoms in the village have their thorns. The woman sighs deeply. When you ask her what's wrong, she laments that she can't find the right words for a love letter to win a certain man's favor. How can I explain my feelings for him? She ponders aloud. Pure like flower, the woman begins, then suddenly looks nauseated. She contorts in pain as she spits something out. It's a flower bulb, one as big as your fist. Okay, what in the world happened here? The woman writhes in agony as she continues to vomit out flower bulbs. You see a boy searching for something in the bushes. He tells you that he is looking for his runaway cat. He thinks the feline is hiding somewhere in the village, but seems distraught that he hasn't found it yet. You think it's a great idea, but the boy immediately shoots you down. My cat's afraid of heights, he says. Near a flower bed, he repeats, then suddenly bursts into tears. As the boy cries, you realize that what pours down his cheeks aren't tears, but what appear to be flower seeds. For reasons you can't explain, what appear to be flower seeds pour from the boy's eyes instead of tears. The man sighs deeply. When you ask him what's wrong, he laments that he doesn't know what gift will help him win a certain woman's favor. Hyde would know all about words like that, Phila remarks. The man immediately presses Hyde for advice. It's a rare sight to see the attendant get so flustered. Though the man agrees it's a good idea, he laments that he hasn't the money to buy one. For some reason, the man's expression immediately contorts into one of fear. Suddenly, the man lets out a pained scream and collapses. You see blood-red petals stuffed into his mouth. Something seems amiss with the village. You had best prepare yourself, for anything could happen in this mysterious realm. After speaking with the villagers, you realize they all live in fear of flowers. Perhaps there's something about the flower beds you're missing. Blood-red petals are stuffed in the unconscious man's mouth. Beautiful flowers are in full bloom, though they seem no different than ordinary blossoms to you. The villagers obviously fear them. Laddie cautiously approaches, trembling with every step when... A disquieting voice rings out just as a shockwave hits you. That's a heart scar, Lack shouts. No doubt referring to the ominous light suddenly surrounding the flower beds. It appears to be what's eating away at this world. We have to close it, Phila says. You couldn't agree more, and reach out to touch the scar. A giant shadow appears. Its yellow eyes glare at you, and you draw your weapon as if to deflect that narrowed gaze. Magnificent. Magnificent. Within the shadow's final words, you sense something. Laddie was born to be a maiden and was prepared to devote herself entirely to the Isle. But her lack of aptitude for the role disappointed everyone in the village. Ever since, bitterness over her shortcomings has festered within the confines of her heart. The shadow vanishes, and you decide to try and heal the heart scar. You look to Lack for assistance, but it immediately dashes your hopes. Wish I could help you, but it's beyond my powers to fix, it exclaims. This is the reason you brought the Azure Maiden with you to this world. The relic must be the key. Lack nods, and Fila holds the maiden's relic up to the heart scar. You heal the heart scar, restoring the village to its proper self. Your mission fulfilled, you decide to return to the world you came from. You see other areas painted black in the distance and wonder if there may yet be other heart scars. Lack says that you'll need permission from Laddie to explore those places. Laddie looks puzzled. Apparently, not even she knows what's going on inside her heart. Lack's strange chant once again opens a door of light. It seems this altar is the bridge connecting the real world and the heart's domain. You make it safely back to the real world, but can barely wrap your heads around your surreal experience in the heart's domain. Laddie is fast asleep. You can only imagine how spiritually exhausting it must have been for her to be forced to have a change of heart like that. What an adventure, Fila exclaims, apparently thrilled to have had such a strange experience before the ritual. You thank the Azure Maiden for letting you borrow her precious relic. While doing so, you realize that Laddie will also have to do the ritual someday if she becomes a maiden. You ask Fila if it would be possible for you to attend the maiden's ritual. She seems unsure at first, but eventually agrees to let you come. "I'm back," Fila exclaims cheerfully to the unsurprised gazes of her fellow villagers. They see Hyde suggests that you get some rest before the ritual, so you head to the inn. That night at the inn, you get to thinking about the ritual. It's a right to protect the island, one passed down through generations of maidens. If Laddie becomes one, she'll have to do the same. Laddie, paying you no mind, gobbles down her food, occasionally choking on bread. Well, sweet dreams. Fila and Hyde await you out. They tell you that in order to conduct the ritual, they have to visit the altar where the spirit is enshrined. To do so, you must go off the southern shore of the island. A crowd of villagers gathers as your party is about to leave Coveton. A villager hands Fila a talisman shaped like a fish. He says that it contains a spell to help you along the way to the altar and a wish for the ritual's success. The villagers shower Fila with warm words of encouragement. It appears the free-spirited maiden's smile has uplifted the villagers' hearts. "Thank you for always watching over me," she says, with the same bright smile as always. When you arrive at the shore, Hyde speaks. Now we go underwater. Hyde explains that the talisman the townspeople gave them contains magic that allows you to breathe underwater. Hyde explains that the temple where the ritual is carried out is underwater. That's why. Hyde sees that you still have your doubts. "Let me show you instead," he says, then activates the magic talisman. "Come on, follow me," Fila exclaims cheerfully. She and Laddie looks at the water apprehensively, and you can see her pondering her ability to swim. Before she can drown in self-doubt, though, you take her hand and follow. "Stop, we'll drown," Lack shouts, but you pay it no mind. Life seems to be one odd experience after the next lately. Though you're underwater, you can breathe. You inhale deeply. Laddie stares in wide-eyed wonder at the colorful coral reef and myriad fish swimming about. fight him off. Fortune favors the bold. From the window, you can see the few rays of sunlight that reach the sea floor, undulating in the current. Despite being submerged, the temple is filled with air. You can't help. In her ever-cheerful way, Fila explains that this is where Azure Maidens undertake the ocean trials. "Let's get going," she exclaims. Hyde watches as she leads the way, concern apparent in his eyes. A fish is carved into the stela. The door is sealed tight. The image of a crystal is carved into it. On further inspection, you see words inscribed as well, but they're faint. You can make out the words, "Touch the stela." This must be the trial, Fila murmurs. You decide to look for clues to help her open the door. A crystal is carved into the stela. "Maybe I have to do it because it's my trial," Fila says, reaching out toward the stela. Fila gently touches the stela, and it releases a faint light. But the area remains silent. There is no indication that the door has opened. "Let me try again," Fila says, touching the stela once more. This time, the light dissipates. She then panics and replaces her hand on the stela, causing the light to return. It appears the stela can be illuminated and darkened by the Azure Maiden's hand. The light dissipates, along with the light of the other stela. It appears you've made a mistake. The image of a crystal and the words, "Touch the stela," are carved into the door. You hear a noise in the distance. It's the sound of the crystal door being unlocked. past the crystal door is yet another door. On this one is a carving of a temple. Hope you win. The stela is shaped like the azure spirit, guardian of the isle. When you look closely, you can see small words carved into it. Hyde contemplates the words for a moment, then speaks. We should try touching the stela with the same image as the door. You decide that this isn't the stela you're looking for, and try to find another. A temple is carved into the stela. You hear a noise in the distance. It's the sound of the temple door being unlocked. There's nothing carved into the door, nor is there a keyhole. It appears to be sealed by a mysterious power. Upon scanning the area, you see another door. Perhaps it's worth looking into. There's a map carved into the door. Realizing that there is no keyhole, you figure it must be sealed by by a mysterious power. You recognize the pattern from your own map. This is the South Aisle, you say. From behind you, you hear a door open. Sounds like we're being invited in, Fila remarks. You all exchange looks before heading toward the noise. When Fila touches the stela, it begins to shake. The maiden steps back, just as the stela transforms into a monster and charges at you. Magnificent. It appears some monsters mimic stela here, Hyde remarks calmly, despite the battle you just fought. Right, you reply. Then steel yourself as you continue your stela search. Show 'em what you got. The stela is shaped like the azure spirit, guardian of the Isle. You can see the following words carved into it. Fila gently touches the stela, and it releases a faint light. But you don't hear a door open. There must be some other stela you need to illuminate. When Fila touches the stela, it transforms into a monster and charges at you. Magnificent.
Hey guys, sorry about not uploading for 4 weeks. Well, as what YouTube says anyway. Last one I uploaded was episode 2. This one's gonna be episode 3, and it's gonna be a long video where it's just gonna be really the story parts only. It's not gonna consist of any fights, unless the fights are integral to the story. And it's just gonna be one long video. It's gonna go through all the chapters in the game, because I lost interest in recording and editing and uploading onto YouTube, because I did record videos. I did record non-stop, like about a week. I recorded for about a week and edited for about a week or so. From episode 1 of Voice of Cards of the Isle Dragon Roars, all the way up to episode 2 of Voice of Cards of the Forsaken Maiden. So I burnt myself out. I didn't pace myself. So yeah, that's really it. as to why there's no uploads from episode 2 onwards. Anyway, that's what this video episode is. It's going to be episode 3, and it's going to be the complete rest of the story of the game. Yeah, I hope you forgive me for not recording or anything, not uploading, but I'm sorry for that. I think I'm just going to focus mostly on, I don't know what I'm going to focus on actually. Yeah. Really, that's it. I honestly don't know. I've got to find a thing that makes me tick for YouTube or Twitch. Oh, I farted. Yeah. That's pretty much it. I'll see you in the video. Well, not really see you, but I hope you enjoy this video from going onwards. And I'll see you in the next video, I guess, maybe, or on Twitch. By the way, all my social media is down below in the description. TikTok, YouTube, and you're on my YouTube and Twitch. Yeah, you can find me at Renny5 and all those, including Twitter. But I don't really use Twitter, so yeah. Or if you want to do it anyway. Again, see you later on in the video. Goodbye. Oh yeah. By the way, I won't be talking in the episode, so you'll just be watching the gameplay with the character voices and shit. Anyway, see you in the next video. Bye bye.